Clay Patton on the Rural Radio Network here with a check of your Midwest Sheep and Goat Market Report for the week ending November the 26th. The Midwest Sheep and Goat Market Report is sponsored by Moline Seed and Fence. Moline Seed and Fence is your local dealer for Riviera custom gates, goat and sheep pens, along with Mountain View sheep and goat equipment. Check it all out at their website, MolineSeedandFence.com. That's MolineSeedandFence.com. This week, the report looks just a touch different here as I combine 2 weeks. As last week, I shared the interviews from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting's annual Trade Talk with ASI and the American Lamb Board as well. Being the week of Thanksgiving, it was a little bit of a thinner run with only 2 sales being reported through our typical region that we talked about. So I thought, well, we'll give us a little bit more data to overlook, so I combined both last week and this week's report. Overall, though, the market for the week of Thanksgiving and week prior really seems to be holding steady. Some higher undertones leading up to Thanksgiving on the lightweight slaughter lambs. Once again, they're trying to kind of get back to that pace where they were last year, still, though, just a little bit below it. Coming in this week, slaughter lambs noted $8 to $10 lower at Centennial Livestock, but I'm not going to look too far into that. A little bit thinner buyer and seller volume just doesn't seem to be maybe quite the market that we saw a week ago, but not going to call it a downward trend just off of 1 week and one sale in particular. Columbus Sales Pavilion also hosted a sale this week, and they basically called their market fully steady with where it's been over the past several weeks. On the goat side of the market, really good news is we're seeing some of those sale prices again on the lightweight goats, not the mids or heavies, but those lightweight goats back over $400 a hundredweight. So really feels like things are following their typical seasonal trend here towards the end of the year. With that being said, though, we'll keep an eye as to what's going to happen here towards the last couple weeks, as we have seen at times where we'll see a bit of a pullback in the market coming in towards the end of the year, the first part of December, before it starts to ramp back up into the first of the year. So we'll kind of see what these first couple weeks in December give us, but definitely things look like they're on track overall. Now, when you look at yearly perspectives, the lamb market's still below where it was a year ago, just given the fact we've seen those imports come back. Demand, I think, though, remains strong, and the reason I say that is we get out cold storage reports out from USDA this week, and USDA notes that we had 28.5 million pounds of lamb and mutton in commercial cold storage throughout the U.S. That's down 2.5 million pounds from last month, so that's a pretty significant drop. It was actually the biggest drop month over month that any of the main proteins saw, beef, pork, or chicken saw there in commercial cold storage. So that was pretty impressive. Now, yearly data, we are up about 1.4 million pounds from where we were a year ago. But even when you look to that, going back to 2020, we're still easily about 12 million pounds lighter than we were pre-pandemic. So again, U.S. and domestic demand seems to be holding strong. That demand we created from the pandemic, I'm going to say, is sticking with us somewhat. Now, though, it's coming down to more of a price war, especially with supply chains reestablishing themselves in those import products, being able to possibly compete at a better level, or with retailers willing to work with more of the frozen product rather than with the fresh product. So it's a back and forth trade here. So likely will we see this stronger prices on lambs as last year? Maybe, maybe not. Goat side of it, though, really this market looks poised to try and retrace back to some of those strong prices we saw last year. Now, if you're looking at the ethnic calendar for some dates that may help on the marketing side of it, Ramadan month of fasting is March 22nd to April 20th. Passover is April 5th. Roman Easter, April 9th. And Orthodox Easter coming up April 16th. Let's run through the highlighted quotes coming off this week's report as we go to Columbus Sales Pavilion there, Columbus, Nebraska. 6-feeder wool lambs weighing 59 pounds, brought $282.50 a hundredweight. That's $167 a head. Columbus Sales Pavilion also sold 17 boar weather goats weighing 103 pounds, for $267 a head. That's $259 a hundredweight. Columbus also sold 5 boar bucks for $442 a head on the average. Colby Livestock in Kansas sold 5 42-pound boar feeder goats for $400 a hundredweight. That's $168 a head. Colby also sold 23 head of 81-pound slaughter goats for $292.50 a hundredweight. That's $237 a head. And Centennial Livestock in Colorado sold 40 head of 76-pound hair lambs for $211 a hundredweight, $160 a head. The upper end of the draft bringing $245 or $186 a head again on hair lambs. Centennial sold 38 head of 62-pound wool lambs for $225 a hundredweight or $139 $139.50 a head. Centennial also sold a slaughter goat buck weighing 167 pounds for $275 a hundredweight. That's $460 a head. So still some demand on that slaughter side as well. Producers Livestock in Texas sold 11 head of 1 to 2 year old breeding hair ewes weighing 82 pounds for $160 a head. Producers also sold 10 head of 43 pound hair lambs for $330 a hundredweight or $142 a head. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock sold 12 head of 2 to 4 year old breeding does weighing 91 pounds for $205 a head. Sioux Falls also sold 50 head of weather goats weighing 103 pounds for $265 a hundredweight. That's $345 a head. As well, the upper end of those draft on those weathers actually brought up to $305. That's just shy of $400 a head. So the heavy weathers finding some of their own luck there as well down in Texas. Don't have quite the rest of the breakdown as we do in some of our other reports. Things kind of holding steady on the grain side, a mixed to shortened trading week. So not the greatest picture to look out there, nor on the hay market side of things. So we'll try to bring back our full fleshed out report as we do on a weekly basis coming out next week. But definitely here just looking more at the price basis of what we had coming through the week. Let's break down your regional report on the wool. Lambs 40 to 70 pounds, 165 to 290 a hundredweight. 70 pounds and up, 145 to 285 a hundredweight. Hair lambs 192 to 330 a hundredweight, and the 40 to 70 pound hair lambs 165 to 365 a hundredweight. 70 pounds and up, 140 to 245 a hundredweight. Wool ewes slaughter side 50 to $120 a hundredweight. Wool rams 55 to 110 a hundredweight. Hair ewes on the replacement side, $150 to $260 a head. Slaughter hair ewes coming in $55 to $140 a head. Your hair rams, $100 to $163 a hundredweight. On the kid goats over on the 20 to 40 pounders, $195 to $405 a hundredweight. 40 to 70 pounders, $200 to $400 a hundredweight. 70 pounds and up, $200 to $330 a hundredweight. On the weathers, the 70 pounds and up weathers, $210 to $305 a hundredweight. Slaughter does, medium to fleshy, $125 to $280 a head. Replacement quality does, $130 to $320 a head. And on the slaughter bucks, $150 to $300 a hundredweight. Breeding bucks, $250 to $442. That's the latest here in your Midwest Sheep and Goat Market Report. Appreciate it, whether you're listening on Spotify or finding us at RuralRadioNetwork.com. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.